What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Beers with an Economist. My name is Josh, and today we're going to be talking about this. What in the hell is going on with gas prices? And the other thing we're going to be talking about is why the response from your favorite politician, be they right or left, is probably stupid. That's what we're going to be talking about today over beers. Everybody, we're gonna have to start with the beer on this one because this one's really aggravating. Where to begin? Markets are a thing. You may not like that they're a thing, but they are a thing. And what we have going on right now with oil is a global market. That is, barrels of oil are sold globally to all interested parties who want to buy them, including the people who refine and sell you gasoline at $4.29 a gallon. Now, why does that matter? Well, you've been hearing a lot lately from one particular side of the aisle that, well, President Biden needs to do everything he can to increase domestic production, right? Or man, we shouldn't have canceled that Keystone pipeline. That's killing us right now, or this, that, and the other. Okay, guys, let me be real with y'all. An increase in U.S. supply in the short run is going to have almost no effect. That is zero, nearly, on current gas prices. Okay? Again, we go back to global markets. The barrels of oil can be sold for more money outside of the country. So even if we produce more oil here, we will just be selling it abroad and everywhere else for the same price that barrels of oil are going for everywhere in the country. Secondly, even if you consider the fact that our supply may increase the global supply by a small amount, you have to consider the orders of magnitude here, right? So the US makes up about 20% of global oil production currently. How much do you think we can increase our production in the short run? Seriously, let's say by some miracle of God, we could increase production by 10%. I don't think we can come close to that, but let's just say that we could. Even if we could, we'd only increase the global supply of oil by maybe 2%, right? And when you're talking about losing vast quantities of oil from Russia, and also with the people betting on oil futures in order to hedge the risk of prices going up even further, this is not going to have a significant effect at the pump. So the bottom line here is that an increase in U.S. oil supply, while a good strategy in the long run, right, in case this situation in Ukraine drags out even longer, is not going to dramatically affect prices at the pump currently. Second thing that you've been hearing from the other side of the aisle is that, well, this is just the problem of greedy corporations, right, just padding their pocket, taking advantage of the moment, taking advantage of ordinary citizens, this, that, and the other. Again, guys, this is a global marketplace. If our producers try to sell the oil for cheaper, right, it's not going to impact the global market by that much. And you have to ask yourself, why would they sell it cheaper here when they could sell it for more money abroad, right? And two, you also have to remember that we were just coming out of a global glut of oil, right? So during COVID, they were actually selling oil at negative prices per barrel at a specific point in time, if you will recall that, right? So all of these companies are coming off massive losses from 2020 still that they're still trying to make up for. So you're asking them to, just out of the goodness of their heart, not sell their product for what it's worth currently in the global marketplace. And that just sounds silly. So here's the deal, guys. Gas prices, they're gonna be higher for a while. And let's keep in mind that this didn't just all happen at once. Gas prices were already high due to the same inflationary factors that were causing everything to be more expensive right now, right? The situation in Ukraine has just made it dramatically worse, right? So we're going to be dealing with higher gas prices for the near future, and it's not President Biden's fault, and it's not the greedy corporation's fault. It is just, quite simply, global supply and demand. Okay, guys, just in case you think that I'm lying to you, capitalist show, whatever, let's just draw a really basic graph real quick. So the supply and demand for oil is dictated by the same sort of market forces that dictate everything else. So if we think about price being on this vertical axis, quantity being on our horizontal axis, we have a downward sloping demand. That is, the cheaper oil is, the more people want to buy it, and an upward sloping supply. So the more expensive oil is, the more providers want to provide it because they make a lot of money on said oil. Now, in a global marketplace, this isn't all that matters. We don't have this domestic equilibrium price like we normally would. Because we export oil in the United States, what we have is a world price that sits above our domestic equilibrium. And that's why we export oil to the world market, because we can make more money for it abroad than we can here domestically, right? Now, what that does is it reduces the quantity of domestic oil we buy, but increases the quantity supplied, and the rest of this is all oil that we export. So right now we have more capacity than what we necessarily need here in the US, but we are exporting a lot of it. Now, what do you think happens in this little graph when we increase supply? Okay, so if we just draw this again, supply shifts to the right, right? So normally what you would think would happen is that domestic price should go down, and that's what all of you guys are expecting. But again, we're in a global market. The world price is where it is. So even if our increase in supply reduces that world price by the tiniest little amount, we're still basically in the same boat. And all of this extra area right here represents profit for oil companies. So supply is going to increase, but it's not going to make your gas cheaper. Sorry, folks. That's just the way the market works. Take that, Art Laffer.